Now for this hour, we start with Kremlin. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, Russia has claimed control of 2 more settlements in Zaporizhzhia and Donetsk. Over the past 24 hours, Russian forces also targeted Ukrainian drone production facilities, energy and transportation infrastructure, while their air defense units downed 122 Ukrainian drones. Meanwhile, Ukraine's general staff has reported intense combat activity along the front lines, with 144 engagements in the past day. Ukrainian forces successfully repelled several Russian assaults near Kupiansk and Pokrovsk, while Ukrainian Air Force and artillery units struck Russian positions, claiming the destruction of many Russian drones. Now for this discussion, we welcome Dr. Satoru Nagao. He's a fellow at Hudson Institute, joins us live from Tokyo. Thank you very much, Dr. Nagao, for joining us. Good to see you. Now, looking at this, can you tell us as you know the war continues into fourth year? Do you think President Trump is still interested in mediating between these two?
He still try to mediate, but at the same time, the view from the current move, he also believes that this is long-term negotiation. So, because Russia, there is no sign to stop the offensive, and in the some parts, even if the small area, the Russia's armed forces is advancing the front line. So that's why the view from Russia that there is a possibility the continuing war is beneficial. In this case, even if the President Trump tried to persuade Russia, there is a relatively high possibility that Russia will not accept to cease the offensive. So that's why the condition is not good. But in the long run, the economy will be the reason that Russia cannot continue the war. Is one of the reasons that President Trump is waiting, I think, because sanction card is waiting. Sanction card is not directly the sanction against Russia. This is the sanction against the country which imports products from Russia. So that's why it will affect the relation between U.S. and this country, but if the U.S. decides their mind, it is possible. So that's why if the U.S. will start to impose this type of the secondary sanction against Russia, Russia will face more serious damage in their trade. So that's why still the U.S. has the card in the long run. That's why they are waiting when they will impose this sanction as a diplomatic card to persuade Russia.
Thank you for highlighting that. And do you see appetite from Ukraine and Russia as well or do they welcome mediation efforts by U.S. right now?
Yeah, in the long run, anyways, the solution will happen based on the negotiation. That is true, because Ukraine cannot occupy the Moscow, and Moscow cannot occupy the Kyiv. That is true. So this looks like the Korean War. Both sides cannot win, but continue in the war. So in this case, maybe in the near future, they need to agree the ceasefire. But just now, it is not a condition that they agree. So that's why this will be the long-term negotiation. So negotiation itself is welcome, but this is not a good condition to ceasefire. But that is the current situation, I think.
And Dr. Nagao, how do you see Europe's alliance towards Ukraine right now? Do you see fatigue between supporting Ukraine, because they have a new problem in their hand, of course, Greenland. So how do you see their support right now?
Of course, in case of the Western countries, there is a division between America and Europe. That is true. And but at the same time, in case of Europe as a military power, they need the U.S. military power. So that's why even if the U.S. do not need the European military power, but the European side needs the U.S. military power is a fact. So that's why even if the rift, in case of the Russia's aggression to Ukraine, Russia and Europe and the United States can agree to stop the Russia's invasion. So that's why but Russia do not dream to divide Russia and America in this case, I think. But in the case of Greenland, in case of the others, mood is not good. That is also true.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nagao, for sharing that insight. Please stay with us as we come back to you for a later discussion as well. Now we move on to Afghanistan. The Islamic State has claimed responsibility for an explosion at a Chinese-run restaurant in Kabul yesterday, killing one Chinese national and 6 Afghans, with several others, including a child, injured. The attack took place in the Sheher